This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Maxi Hughes.
No,
Over soon.
and I am.
Maxi, how are you doing?
I'm all good, mate. 2 minutes ago, I did have one of these on my head as well. It's a little game that we've been playing, but yeah, I'm all good, mate. Yeah,
Well, Max seems like I poorly timed it then because I think you would have made for better viewing if you'd have had one on your head still. Um,
yeah.
Obviously, let's just kind of get straight into it. William Zepeda come out in March, middle of March. Um, I remember the frustrations. I remember the disappointment on the back of the Kambosos lost Maxi. Um, Talk to me about kind of finding the motivation again to get back into a big fight like this on the back of the disappointment of not having that result go your way.
Um, Straight away, like obviously it was heartbreaking being there. Can you do that on next chair, miss? It were heartbreaking not to get the decision when everybody, me and the whole world knew I should have got that decision, but it didn't. It didn't put my fire out at all. Obviously, it disappointed me and brought me out, but there were never any question in my mind that I'd proved myself at that level. Um, so just be quiet with that, man. So I proved myself at that level, and I was like, I'm getting straight back to this level. I know what I'm capable of. The whole world knows it now. So hopefully the IBF are going to do the right thing. And my stock's obviously gone up. So yeah, for me it were get straight back in. I had a little bit of time off just to rest after the fight, recover. And then I was back in gym, working away.
I saw once the fight was announced, obviously you sent out thanks to Lou DiBella for sticking by his word, helping you get a big fight over the line. Was it a surprise to you that obviously Lou's stuck to that and he's helped you get back into some type of a big fight now?
I mean, it's in Lou's best interest as well because I'd signed with Lou for 2 fights. So the more he pushes it, um, then it's a bigger fight that he's with me for. Um, but as well, I'm here on merit. I've been ordered. This fight in particular. It's not a fight that I've been chosen out of a hat or somebody's given me an opportunity. I've earned it. I've been ordered by the IBF because of how good I am and where I am in the rankings. So, I'm here. I've earned my place at the table. Um, so yeah, I'm just happy that the IBF did do something. They didn't have to. They could have quite easily gone. Sorry, it is what it is. It's boxing. And that were it. But the fact that they moved me up into the top five, and I've since ordered me in a final eliminator. It just it tells me it all.
Maxi William Zepeda, a very aggressive style, loves to come forwards. We see that with his knockouts, 25 knockouts, I believe, out of 29 fights. Likes to let
Yeah,
his hands go. A difficult fight in itself. From what you've seen of him, how would you assess William Zepeda?
he's a good fighter. Obviously, he's done everything right. Undefeated. He's was apparently Golden Boys fighter at year last year. He's only had two. For me, obviously, I have to look at it different, and I look at where I exploit him. Obviously, I'm going to be an underdog, which I always am. But that doesn't bother me. But when you look past it, I've actually boxed more high level opponents than he has. He's boxed decent kids. His highest being Jojo Diaz, a former 2-3 weight or 3-time world champion, and former super featherweight world champion Rene Alvarado. They're his two biggest names, and they were probably his hardest fight. He went the distance with both of them guys. And the way that we look at it, we think, right, what can I do against him? He's not fought anybody like me. So I have to use my experience um, and get the job done.
It leads in nicely to my next question. When you fought George Kambosos, there was obviously talk prior to the fight of how difficult the fight would be because we saw the success that Devin Haney had against George Kambosos with his own boxing skill set. You look at William Zepeda. How do you approach this fight with him? As you've just said, you don't feel like he's fought somebody with your style before.
I just have to impose my will on him. You know, maybe I need to do something different. You know, I'll keep that close to my chest on what we've been working on. But again, it's his style's nothing I've not seen before in boxing. You know, I'm pretty much 20 years into boxing now, so I've seen, you know, a mix of all the styles. So it's not something I've not seen. Of course, I know it's going to be tough. Like this is, you know, this is world level boxing. There is no easy fights. You know, just like the Kambosos fight wasn't an easy fight. Nobody expected me to do anything with him because again, George had been like I am in this fight. George has boxed higher level of higher level of opponents compared to me. You know, obviously twice with Haney, Tiafimo. But again, I showed what I can do there. I can adapt and adjust, and like I always say, I just do what I need to do to win, and that's the most important thing for me is just to get the win.
One thing I want to ask about as well, Maxi, and I imagine it'd be difficult not to think about it given how the Kambosos fight ended up playing out, is if it goes to the scoring. I imagine it will be a bit of a concern for you because I actually saw your tweet after the Teofimo Lopez Jermaine Ortiz fight this past weekend saying that all you want yourself in your own career is a fair crack at the whip, effectively.
Yeah, I never thought about it when I fought George because I thought, you know, it's a Brit against an Aussie in America with four officials, American officials, including the referee. So I thought, surely they're going to, you know, they've got no agenda here out like that. But obviously we saw, and that obviously made me realise something going on, you know, behind the scenes, and that's I've already expressed this to Lou and to all the staff at DiBella. You know, I'm trying to figure out. I'm pestering them, saying, "Do we know who the officials are yet?" But Nevada State Athletic Commission, they've not yet assigned the officials, which I think they will be doing soon. And I've been asked to, you know, I want to know who they are. You know, I'm almost going to vet these people in them, and I think just making, you know, I want to make people aware. You know, but ultimately, if they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that. There's no I can do about it. All I don't want to think about it. You know, I don't want that to be something in my mind going, oh, if it goes, you know, I just want to get my head down. I want to train my hardest. I want to turn up, fight night, do what I need to do, and just hope that, you know, boxing is just scored fairly. The fight will be scored fairly, and that's all I want. And that's all, you know, I'll get my head down and try not to think about the judges because ultimately there's nothing I can do to change what their, you know, what their motives or whatever, you know. So yeah, that's obviously it's in my head a little bit, but as we get to fight week and concentrating on the fight, I'll just be like, there's no what I can do. I've trained my hardest, I've put all the work in. I'll go in there and I'll do what I do, and you know, the world will see.
There's something just to end on with you and Maxi on that perspective of this interview, that is it something you really need to kind of put to the back of your mind because last thing you want is if you're in the fight and it is going into those later rounds is for something like that to be running through your mind and where maybe you go and do something during the fight which you wouldn't normally do.
No, I don't think it'll ever be. It never bothers me, especially during the fight. I'm so when the bell goes, um, and I'm in the fight. You know, I get me minute in the corner, and I, you know, really listen to what my corner's saying, and I focus on doing exactly what they tell me to do. And you know, it's just tunnel vision, proper, absolute laser focus. You know, I'm just doing what I'm told, and I'm doing what I need to do. It never comes where my mind will wander. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to do that because of, you know, and that's where you can end up doing something silly. If you try and, you know, mentally get into the judge's head and try and see what they're thinking and think what they're thinking, it's just, no, get on with what I'm told, get on with what we've trained to do and planned to do, and it'll be what it'll be.
Away from all of that, though, Maxi, the chance to headline in Vegas, that must be a nice little way to continue this chapter in your career.
Yeah, it's a special moment, you know. It's my wife's going to come out, she's going to bring kids, you know. It's a special moment because when you speak to my kids, especially my eldest, when you say, "What does your dad do for a job?" She thinks I just put that back. She just thinks that I pick them up from school, I make the tea, and I clean the house. So, she's going to get to see my face on the Las Vegas Strip on fight posters. They'll be able to come to the press conference and weigh in and stuff like that. So we'll get to see, it's special memories. There's not many fighters from the UK who get to the big time boxing and the mecca of boxing, Las Vegas, and headline. So, obviously it's a big fight, and I'm obviously focused on that. But I do soak it in and enjoy the journey. I've heard too many fighters who've retired saying I didn't enjoy the journey enough. I was too hell bent on focusing on the fight, obviously, which is important. But I can spare a few thoughts and a little bit of time to go look around and go, I've done this the hard way. Like I said earlier, my place on this table is earned. I've been ordered here. I've not been handpicked out of a hat like Rocky Balboa was by Apollo. I've been ordered, so my place at the table is earned. So I'll enjoy being there, soak it all in, and then come fight night, get my head down, get cracked on, and get job done, and become mandatory for the IBF title. Apparently, it's a WBA eliminator as well. I don't know how that works, but great if I'm mandatory for 2 belts. That's absolutely, that's even better.
Maxi, just sticking with yourself or into a different topic. Obviously, I saw a photo of yourself and Mr. Josh Taylor sharing some rounds. What can you tell me about your encounters with him?
Yeah, Josh is a good kid, and it was only that week I saw Jack Catterall as well. So, I like both lads. I'm sort of not on nobody's side. They're both nice lads, and I've worked with them both. Sparred them both. But yeah, I'm obviously Josh is a southpaw, so a very good one at that. So it's just like my coach is obviously Sean is looking around for just getting me a good mixer, top quality, the best sparring he can get. So it will worth a trip over to Liverpool to share some rounds with Josh to help me be prepared. Yeah, that's why we went over there. Obviously, getting the best preparation we can.
Did you say there at the beginning of that as well? You actually saw Josh and then Jack earlier in the week or a week or so ago. So was that for sparring with Jack as well? So you basically shared a ring with both of them?
Well, no, I didn't actually. Like a photo went on, and like DAZN posted it because there was a picture of me, Dalton, and Jack. I didn't actually spar them two. Um, I'd actually gone over to spar Mark Leach, who's another southpaw, good, really tricky operator. So I'd sparred Mark, and Jack and Dalton were sparring. I just so happened to be lingering around when them two had a picture, and Dalton said, "Come on, Max, get in photo." So obviously went in photo, and obviously Dalton shared it, DAZN shared it, I filmed. But yeah, I've sparred both Dalton and Jack, and obviously Josh as well. So it's what happens in the UK boxing scene. All the top guys, we all spar each other and we all help each other. Boxing. I know Josh and Jack, obviously they're rivals, but we all help each other out.
Just with Josh and Jack, there's obviously a lot of talk of. I mean, we're expecting some type of an announcement soon, given the reports that have just come out about the potential rematch taking place from your time knowing them, time most recently with Josh in the ring, from maybe what you've seen of Jack. What would you expect to see it come a rematch, provided it's all rubber stamped and crosses the line?
Well, obviously, every time you see they seem to bump into each other. They're a lot more fiery than when there was before. Obviously, there's a little bit of needle, which is just pre-fight hype anyway. But obviously, since what's happened between them, I really don't think they like each other, do they? So we could see, an absolute war. If they've really got under each other's skin. For British boxing, it's an absolute fantastic fight, and obviously it'll sell really well. So yeah, it's one I'll be absolutely sitting down for. I'll have got my fight out of the way, so I might be able to sit down and watch that one with a pizza.
Maxi, just get your thoughts on a few other fights on the horizon. One which is linked to yourself is George Kambosos and Vasily Lomachenko. What's your take on
Yeah.
the fight?
Obviously a sharing win with George last time out. I really can't see anything other than a Lomachenko win. Unless, obviously, by the time the fight comes around, he will have been out of the ring just over a year. So obviously he's a little bit older. Unless he's aged in that time out of the ring, which I can't see because he seems to be, a super athlete. I can't see anything other than a Lomachenko win. If it goes to the scorecards in Australia, I hope there's no dodgy scorecards. But yeah, I just see a Lomachenko win. And then obviously see myself and Loma sharing ring at end of year for that IBF title.
Fingers crossed for you there, Maxi. Sticking with somebody who you recently saw there, Dalton Smith, Jose Zepeda. Very good fight, a good step up there for Dalton. What do you make of it?
It's a good fight, obviously a good step in the direction for Dalton's career. There were a lot of confusion. Both when I saw him last week, there was obviously his announcement was around summertime as mine, so people were contacting me saying, "Hey, they've double booked Zepeda," and he was getting same saying, "You're not fighting Zepeda, Maxi's fighting Zepeda," and it's like, no, look at the names. Obviously, they're both Mexican, but different Zepedas, and I don't think they're related. They certainly don't look alike. So, oh, can you be quiet?
Just with the fight itself, what do you expect to see from it?
I think at the timing of the fight, I just expect Dalton to get a job done. Obviously I believe it's a fight that's going to get him ranked highly across the sanctioning bodies. So yeah, he'll take a step in that direction. It'd be good to see another lad from Yorkshire doing well.
Seems to be quite a lot of mutual respect there between yourself and Dalton, because obviously, well, you must have been about 6 or so months ago. People were touting you two potentially sharing the ring, but it seems to be on very good terms together.
Yeah, it was strange. Like we actually spoke. We're like, because it was funny. We spoke to it last time, and it seemed like there was a bit of stir in the pot from Matchroom because Matchroom had told Dalton, "Oh, this fight's going to be on. Max is bang up for it." I never received a proper offer. I got it mentioned to by my manager, and I was like, "Hey, where's that come from?" I'm waiting for this IBF final eliminator, which we knew were coming, and obviously Dalton's weight above. So we're just like, no, that's not where the thing's going. And again, what I spoke to Dalton about, he says, look, we haven't asked for that fight. Matchroom's just said it, and they've said you're up for it. And he says, me and my dad were like, why would Maxi take that? He's going to be getting an eliminator. So, I think maybe, well, I don't know why it came about. I don't know who was the culprit of staying, putting the ideas together. I don't know. But yeah, we spoke about it and we laughed about it. So yeah.
Going into the 140 division a bit deeper, Maxi, another great fight on the horizon. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Devin's a big favourite at this moment in time for that fight. What do you expect to see come April 20th?
I think obviously it's a fantastic fight. Great for boxing. Good to see that they're getting it on actually. I think with Devin's higher level of opponents and the recent move up in weight, obviously I favour him for his boxing skills. He can stay disciplined. But Ryan is probably a little bit faster than Devin, and has obviously got the size as well. Whereas Prograde didn't quite have that size and speed to really trouble Devin, but Ryan has got that, so it's going to be interesting. And obviously Ryan can punch, so if he can catch Devin timing well, again a good fight. I slightly favour Devin to win on points for that. But I'll be surprised if Ryan comes out flying out on blocks and can force a stoppage.
Maxi, in and amongst kind of your excitement for your own fight come March, obviously Josh Warrington, your campmate and good friends there hanging around, waiting to see what's going to happen with a potential Lee Wood fight. Last time I spoke to him was just after West Brom beat them. Just
Yeah.
looking at Josh now, how is he feeling? Looking at the landscape of things, and obviously Lee Wood confirming himself that the City ground's off the table now.
Yeah, it's just all he wants is some news so he can, he's obviously he's training and looking after himself. But as fighters, we like that date, we like that confirmation date of who and when to really get head down and get cracking. But that's not come yet. I know his manager and his dad Sean, they're working hard to get some options and try and find out which direction to aim to go towards. But he'll get a big fight. Josh is a massive name and a top fighter, so I'm sure he'll get a big fight. Again, we just hope he can get it in. First half of the year, that'd be great for him. Obviously, keep that ball rolling and get into another big fight.
Is there still a hope there that the Lee Wood fight will happen, just depending on which location it ends up at now?
Yeah, I mean it's a massive fight. The fight will sell, and both fighters can make a load of money from it because it'll sell no matter where it is in UK. Big domestic fight. So yeah, obviously that's still an option, and I'm sure both lads. Well, yeah, I would imagine both lads would want that because it's probably the biggest fight for both of them out there.
Just going back to the theme of Southpaws, up to the heavyweight division, so a bit bigger than yourself, Maxi. But there's a great fight on the Joshua and Garden undercard in Joseph Parker and Zhang Jilai. Just want to get your thoughts on that fight.
Oh, has that been? I've not seen that's been announced. But every time I hear him, all I see is Big Zhang can bang. And then, but again, this is the heavyweights. If either land a good shot, it could be curtains for them both. But yeah, again, good fight. Good to see the heavyweights divisions thriving. I feel like there's not too many big fights happened, but yeah, another good one to see that it's happening. Like,
And British heavyweight title fight between Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clarke. It's divided opinion, but so far people are edging towards Fabio Wardley. Maxi, do you have an opinion on it?
yeah, I fancy Fabio. He's boxed, I'd say he's boxed a high level, and he just looks when he gets going, he looks ferocious. We've not quite yet seen that. Fraser, really nice boxer, some nice skills, and he really places his shots. I feel like maybe at this point in their careers, Fabio is just that bit more aggressive, and I think that will favour him.
Maxi, it's a pleasure to catch up with you as always. I've probably taken a bit more of your time than we both anticipated, but I've really enjoyed the chat. It's good to
Yeah,
catch up and enjoy the rest of your camp and
yeah.
obviously
I've
your
got to do
camp.
another school run now, straight to nursery now. Get the
Right,
little
well, I
list.
won't keep you, I won't keep you too much longer, but thank you, Maxi.
All right, mate. Cheers, pal.